the first NCAA tournament without Duke and Kentucky since 1976, the field of 68 has been set. Gonzaga, who went 26-0 this regular season with 25 double-digit wins, is the #1 overall seed. Baylor, Illinois, and Michigan round out the other #1 seed. So, Shannon, let's jump right to it. Tell me, what is your Final Four and who wins all of it?
Skip, this was really hard because the perennial powerhouses aren't powerhouses this year. The blue bloods that we normally think of, as Jenny mentioned, Kentucky, Duke, not even in the tournament. Michigan State, UCLA, other blue bloods, play-in game. Kansas weren't as strong as they normally are. North Carolina weren't as strong as they normally are. This might be the best chance for a non-Power 5 team to win the national title. And if it is a Power 5 conference, it's probably going to be someone maybe we least expect, or someone, Skip, we don't really think as a basketball program.
Yep.
So for me, I'm shooting in the dark here, Skip, because a lot of teams, you know, they go weeks without playing. You know, they went 2 weeks. I think Michigan went like 2 weeks without even playing a game.
Yep.
I almost had Michigan in my Final Four bracket, Skip, but the loss is right at the tail end. You can't lose to Michigan State when you're the superior, clearly the better team, and then you lost again.
Well, they got blown out at home by Illinois.
So I was like, nah, I can't pick you guys. Gonzaga was an easy choice. Gonzaga, the Zags. They've been the best team the entire season. And if you look at their roster, now I didn't know this guy, but Master P, who did my podcast, Skip, he said he mentioned this guy's name. But they start a senior, a redshirt junior, a sophomore, and a freshman. Now the freshman is point guard Jalen Suggs. Many believe he'll be a top 5 pick.
He will be.
If you look at the way they're constructed, you see why normally they're always in it somehow, because they always have these guys, Skip, that stay 2-3 years. So instead of playing with an all-freshman-based team, they have a couple of seniors and juniors sprinkled in there.
Yep.
So I have them as one. I'm going to take Illinois. They won 14 of the last 15. They beat Ohio State in overtime to claim the Big Ten title. I like they beat Michigan earlier. So I like them. I'm going to take Alabama. I'm going to take Bama. They're not a bad, you know, Bama. When you think Bama, what you think about? St. Nick. Hey, well, not only did they win the conference championship in football, Skip, they did it in basketball the first time since 1991. So I like them to come out of the East. And I'm going to take Ohio State.
Okay.
I think they played well to do what they did against Michigan, and they've been in the top 5. They've been flirting, you know, top 5, and then they lost like 2 or 3 games. But I believe they're ready. So I got Gonzaga, Illinois, Alabama, Ohio State. Now, the only one that I'm 100% confident of getting to the Final Four is the Zags. But I like my bracket.
Okay. And you have which team winning it all?
I got the Zags beating the Illini.
Okay. I concur with you only on your first point.
The Zags.
No.
Oh, you know what?
This tournament.
Yes, okay.
I have been picking this tournament forever, and it gets harder by the year.
It does.
And this is the hardest year ever because of all the COVID crises this sport has faced. Gonzaga was down and out for a while with COVID issues. And yet, in all my time watching sports, the most aptly, appropriately nicknamed sport in the history of sports is March Madness. It is truly madness. It is the all-time roller coaster ride, often for all the wrong reasons, because it's not even fair that you take a lot of 18 and 19-year-old kids and you throw them into very strange venues at weird times, can be early or late, and it's just one and done.
Yes.
And it's a 3-point shooting contest from a line that's much closer than the NBA line.
Yep.
And you either make them or you miss them. And if you have one bad day where your star is having a fight with his girlfriend or whatever is happening off the court,
you're going home.
So that's the bitter and the sweet of this tournament. So I just throw it up in the wind and see what comes back down. So I agree with your picks only on one. I agree with Alabama. I think Alabama, from start to finish, looked to me like an even more consistent team, to me, to my eye, than Gonzaga looked.
Wow.
Because Alabama starts 2 seniors and 2 sophomores. And in their scoring, it goes Shackelford, Quinterly, Petty Jr., and Jones. They go 14, 13, 12, and 11 points a game. So they're incredibly balanced. And that coach, Nate Oates, I think he's on his way to becoming a Roy Williams or maybe even.
You don't think he's going to be at Alabama long, huh?
I don't know. I mean, you could build a powerhouse there. It's not like they didn't build a power in football, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But he got pedigree. Yes, Skip.
Well, I got it, but he's off to the races there. And remember, they won 9 of their last 10. They won the conference. They won the conference tournament. Mm-hmm. And I'm going with Alabama as one of my picks. But out of that league, I'm also going with Arkansas because back on February 24th at Arkansas, my man Moses Moody just did a number on Alabama, and they won 81-66. That was the game of the year for Arkansas, coached by my guy Eric Musselman, who I knew pretty well when he coached the Golden State Warriors. I know he's bounced around a little bit, but he's coaching the heck out of Arkansas. So they're my second team. Then I'm now down to the 2 players who are vying for Player of the Year. One is going to be the first pick in the draft in Cade Cunningham. And I have watched him a lot this year. I probably watched 10 Cade Cunningham games at Oklahoma State. And I'm an Oklahoma guy, but I watched the Orange Men a lot.
I watched him do a number on your Sooners, too.
He did.
A couple of Saturdays ago.
He did. Well, he's done a couple numbers on my Sooners. And I don't know if I want to go special yet, but he's going to be the first pick in the draft. And he's getting to where he's just growing up right before your very eyes. Where now he's a man among boys and he's just a freshman, obviously. But he's just taking over games. He can distribute it. He can score it from 3. He can take it to the rack.
And in games like this, Skip, in a tournament like this, guys, freshmen can take it over.
They can.
We remember Carmelo Anthony. We remember Purvis Ellison. Ooh. So we've seen freshmen dominate this run when you win 6 games. And he has that kind of ability that he can take over a game at any given moment.
Okay. And I was shocked. They were only a 4 seed. I'm like, 4 seed? Are you kidding me? They're just better than that, and they're going to win the Midwest.
Okay.
Over Illinois.
Okay.
Then that leaves me one team. And I'm going with the 2 seed in Gonzaga's region in the West, because I watched a bit of a game played back on December 19th, and it was at sort of a COVID protocol site that they had to just set up on the fly in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It was Gonzaga's home game against Iowa.
Right.
Now we're to the other Player of the Year possibility. We got a Luka in college basketball, and his name is Luka Garza. So here we go with another Luka. And that night against Gonzaga, he went 30-10. He goes about 6'11", but he had 30 points and 10 rebounds. But Jalen Suggs, who I love because he will compete, he's got a lot of refuse to lose in him. He made 7 of 10 threes that night. They made 50% of their threes, while Iowa went 4 for 18 from 3. So it was a 3-point contest, and Gonzaga ended up running away from them 99-88. I believe that will get reversed in the regional final.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Luka over Gonzaga in the regional final. They'll make a lot more threes, and Gonzaga won't. They better. And so that leaves my final 4 then. Arkansas versus Oklahoma State. And I'm going to go Arkansas in that game as much as I like. I love Cade Cunningham, but listen, check out Moses Moody and tell me he can't play. Whew. And then I've got Iowa as a 2 seed against Alabama, another 2 seed in the other semifinal. And then I've got Alabama winning it all.
What?
Got Alabama winning it all over Arkansas.
Has that ever happened? A football team that won the same year?
You heard it here first.
I don't know, Skip. I think Gonzaga is the most battle-tested of all the teams. They beat Iowa by 11. They beat Kansas by 12. They beat Virginia by 23. There are 2, 3, and 4 seeds in their respective brackets. So I know Gonzaga is battle-tested. BYU had them down, and they come back in the finals and crush BYU. So I think they're battle-tested. They have enough upperclassmen sprinkled in with a sensational freshman in order to get the job done. Because when you play freshman-led teams, Skip, if I'm an opposing coach, I said, look, all I want to do is get it to the last 5 minutes of game. I know now if we let them get up and down, their athleticism is better than ours. But I want to get them where they have to think and they have to execute in the last 5 minutes. And we see that. Skip, remember Coach K in Wisconsin? They got him to the last 5 minutes of the game. They had all that talent, Karl Anthony Towns, all those guys. Let's see if they can execute the last 5 minutes. Without letting them get up and down, put them in a half-court set. Well, Gonzaga, yeah, they can rain threes, but put them in a half-court set. They got enough experience to get the job done. Somebody's going to catch the Dickens, but like you said, on any given night, somebody get hot, you get cold, and it's good night. It's kind of like Georgetown and Creighton. Creighton couldn't throw it in the ocean. Georgetown couldn't miss. They blew them out. Congratulations, Patrick Ewing.
Oh, yeah.
I think they all know who you are at Madison Square Garden, at MSG right now. That was a great story. But normally, you know, Skip, I'll fill out a bracket, and I'm like, I like this. I like this bracket.
Do you?
Skip, I fill out my bracket today, and I'm like, I'm really shooting in the dark on this one.
Okay. Well, so how many 1 seeds? You got one seed. How many?
I don't worry about the 1 seed. I just want, as long as my guns